Go live. Welcome back to All Things Nerdy with Nate and Joe. I'm Nate. That's Joe. And today we got a continuation of what we've been talking about, which is Quicksilver. However, today is going to be the last day of that. We're going to get into why it's going to be the last day of that. But the next podcast, we're going to talk about something different. But I'm excited to get into it. Joe.
Well, Nate's let me know that he's started Brimstone, and I'm giving him a lot of heads up because once I started, I'm going to finish in like 2 days. But he's let me know some things that and we'll talk about the reasons why we won't be continuing down this path, I guess. But without further ado, let's talk nerdy.
Let's talk nerdy. So we have a hard stop of like 15 minutes. So we're going to have to blitz. We're going to have to run through this. It's going to be quick, right? So I want to touch on why this is going to be the last one, and then we can get into it. So Quicksilver, great read. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I was so excited to go to Brimstone. I went to Brimstone, and as some of you may know, I am the type of person that like I can hyper fixate on things. And they just irk me beyond belief, and I can't get past them. It is just like a mental block. And there are several things in Brimstone that I hyperfixate on. And supposedly it's just a natural trope in this kind of genre of books. And which leads me to believe this is not going to be something I'm able to continue doing. Although I'm going to Dungeon Crawler Carl next, which I'm so excited about because I am a DM. And stuff like that. Maybe that's something we could talk about, Joe. Let's get into that next time. Anyways, and some of those things, Joe, and I don't know if they bother you, maybe they don't, but I want to talk about it, is the reference of Saris to Fisher and Fisher to Saris as my mate. Which, look, to establish it a couple times, sure, right? But like, I don't refer to my wife as just my wife all the time for the sake of whatever, right? Like they constantly, like she'll be right in front of Fisher, and instead of calling him Fisher, she's like, oh, I have to do this for my mate. Oh, my mate, my mate. It is just constant. It is so annoying. And I think you couple that with my maker. Just Taladeus. Cool ass name. Cool ass character, right? Like he's on the vampire side, which we're going to get into, but like does what he's supposed to, but also does like on the other side as well. He's more like a chaotic neutral kind of character versus like a chaotic evil or anything like that. He saved a couple of the Fae and all those things, and just, but dude, maker, or my mate. And just the fact that they're God-bound to be mates and stuff, it's so in your face. It's so redundant. It is so excessive. I cannot get past it.
I mean, so I've read, not a ton, right? I've read like a few others, but that's definitely like, as you said, kind of like a trope. Like it is something that is prevalent in the books that I've read. Now I have read them. I didn't do an audiobook, so I haven't been like, I don't know, like, yeah, I kind of had thought like, wow, they really use that word mate a lot, but I've never thought like, wow, this is so annoying. I can't finish this book and I'll never read another one of these. But maybe hearing it out loud is a little different since you're doing audiobooks. But I think it's to their point, it like shows that kind of like ownership, that possessiveness, right? Like I haven't read Brimstone yet, so they haven't gotten to like this is my mate, blah blah blah, all that stuff yet. But speaking from other books, it's like they use the word to really solidify, like, hey, this is mine, like
so
that kind of thing. So
it's not even used as a possessive sometimes. Now, like, there's times where Fisher is talking to Carrion and he's like, don't talk about my mate like that. Sure, right? Like, you're saying it's mine. That is my person. No different than if somebody, you know, says something out of pocket about my wife, I'm be like, hey, don't you talk about my wife like that. That's an ass whooping waiting to happen. You know, probably for both of us. My wife's gonna whoop their ass and then whoop my ass, and there's no coming back for either one of us. But like there's times it's just not even necessary. It serves no purpose. It is like the author was just like, oh, well, this is just easier to write than Kingfisher.
I technically less letters, and I guess maker is a lot easier to say than what would you say, Teledeus. Um, but I think like again, it is just a trope of that type of book. It is something that you have to get through. Maybe someone who's read even like more can like touch on it if you know, if they're watching, they put comments on that kind of thing. But um, again, I haven't got to Brimstone yet, so I can't be like, you're completely wrong. I have no idea how she is using the word mate and how many times it is. But I will say, like from other books I read it, I noticed it that it was like there a lot, but I didn't necessarily fixate on it. I just kind of like moved past it and continued with the story. That aside, is the story just as good as book one?
No, I don't think so. Because like book one, there was the will they, won't they, that kind of pull, that kind of humor, right? But we're past that now. It's solidified. And also the Godbound took away their choice, right? Like it is now they're not even they want to be in it. So force is the wrong word. But that's not even really there. Now it's just an adventure story. Like there's not as many layers to it, and they're starting to expand out, which in my opinion, and I've said this to Steph, and I don't really want to say it on here, but I there are several holes in the story, the way things work, how things are done. There's so many holes. It's hard to believe that the author was like, oh yeah, this is fine, this is how it works. And they leave a lot of things unanswered as well. Now I still have 10 hours left. Maybe the book kicks up, right? Because like Quicksilver, the last little bit was like bam, bam, bam. It was beautiful. It was awesome. So maybe this is getting there too. Now this does have some cool aspects to it, like some different kind of things going on. I don't want to give you any spoilers, right? But overall, I'm just not enjoying the book. Like there were times in Quicksilver where like I was so excited to keep going, keep listening. Now, if I wasn't painting minis, I would be like 2 hours into the book, and that's it. The only reason now I've gotten so far is because like this past weekend,
Wow.
I spent like 8 to 10 hours painting minis, and I just have the book going the whole time.
Well, I don't know. I think maybe your hyperfixation on the mate and maker words have maybe skewed your like opinion of the book, because it's hard for me to imagine that a book that was as good as Quicksilver, that the same author continued the story, and it basically, I mean, you're kind of making it sound like trash.
Well, it's not that it's trash. There's still good parts, right? But it's not as good as Quicksilver. Also, there's 3 books, supposed to be 3 books. So therefore, this is the middle one. This is just the continuation, right? It is not like the end all be all. It doesn't really cap anything. It's just it gets you from book 1 to book 3 is my assumption, you know. So but also there's discrepancies in the book. So I can't say anything. Well, you finished Quicksilver. So like at one point he's like, "Oh, your magic can't work over here. Like there is no way your magic works over here." And literally like 2 pages later he's like, "Look at my magic." The fuck you mean? You literally just spent 7 pages talking about how it doesn't work. What do you mean look at my magic now? That's not how it works. So it's just there's several discrepancies that bother me. And again, I have the personality that I hyper fixate on things. This is why I can't do like time travel animes and stuff like that, or just shows in general. I hyper fixate on the rules, what they are, what it's supposed to be. So when you establish rules, and the rule didn't have to be established, she willingly wrote that into the book. To then break it a couple pages later is crazy, right? And then there's been several other things. So hear me out.
On that, before like this, it's magic, Nathan.
I guess it is magic that it works because it wasn't supposed to work.
But hear me out. So is it again? I haven't started that book. I know you said it's like right at the beginning that happens, but is it Kingfisher's magic is working, or is it Ceres's magic that she now has?
So in the vampire area, no magic is supposed to work for the Fae or anything like that. So it's Kingfisher's magic. But they literally talk about and state how it doesn't work here in Armatreus or however you pronounce it, right? And then literally he's like, oh yeah, magic. Pah, look at me. I can't do it. It drives me crazy. It's so, and I talked to Steph about it. She's like, yeah, I don't know. They don't really explain it. But there are moments, like they kind of allude to it later. They're like, oh, if I dig deep, it's like a different layer of magic. It's just innate. It's not, he can't call them like his shadows, but I'm just like, what the fuck? Magic is magic, my guy.
No, you can't say magic is magic. There's earth magic. Like there's so many different types of magic. There's magic that you pull from your surroundings around you. There's magic.
Okay, when you start the book, Joe, when you start the book, I want you to understand how it's stated and then what they do, and I think it will bother you as well. And then also, we only have a few more minutes because you have a hard stop, which is upsetting because I just want to talk about this, right? Also, so Fisher and Ceres mated, right? And in this world, when you bite each other, there's vampires, right? But when you bite each other, it's euphoric. It is orgasmic, right? But question, well, I can't even do this because we haven't gotten this part of Quicksilver. Oh, God. But this bothers me, too. And there's no explanation. Just know we got more to discuss.
Well, you just said this is like the last time, so it sounds like we might have to do a follow-up, one to actually finish talking about the Quicksilver story, and I can start reading Brimstone this week and then come back and be like,
all right, sir, we'll do one more. Next week is the Quicksilver finale.
And maybe I'll just be just like arguing against all of the trash that you've spewed against Brimstone so far.
Look, it's decent. It's okay. It's just not for me because there's certain things that I hyperfixate on. They bother me. I can't do it, right? I'm going to go listen to Dungeon Crawler Carl and enjoy it and all those things. So I will read the third book when it comes out, right? But I have assumptions and beliefs that I'm not going to share on here because it's not fair to do with no proof. But in my mind, there's reasons and things. So
in your mind, there's reasons that we'll have to get into that next time too. You can't just say that and not tell us what it is.
I can because that's what's going to happen.
Because that's what's going to happen. Well, the only thing I have to say, like, just to combat some of, what you're saying about Brimstone is, James Doom, he said it best. Like, it's magic, man. But
again, I agree. Like magic, no bounds until you put bounds. When you describe the bounds of the world, right, then you should adhere to your own rules. It's like time travel. When you say time travel, you can't meet yourself. And then you end up meeting yourself, but nothing happens. It's basically so dumb. Just don't say that you can't. Ever. Yeah, just don't say that you can't meet yourself. In my time travel, you can do whatever you want. There's no rules. The only thing that's impacted and changed are the exact things that you want impacted and changed, right? Leave it at that. That's fine. That means you get to do whatever. But no, they're all like, oh, there's these rules that we have to follow, or these things happen up until it's convenient not to follow them. And then they're like, they just step all over it. I can't do it. It drives me crazy. It eats at me.
Well, I would have to say I'm gonna have to read the book. So I'm excited.
You should start.
I'll start that this weekend. See how far I get before we come back on Thursday,
I
and
will say
I'll just be able to just
I
counter inject all of your points.
that's fine. I'm excited. I thoroughly enjoy the banter between Kingfisher and Carrion. It is high quality. Carrion is the best character of the whole fucking book, of the whole series. Carrion is what he carries so much of it. Now, Ceres is a badass. I love a badass female protagonist. It's awesome. She's a beast. She's a great character, good development, all that stuff. But Carrion carries this series. It's incredible. He's he's so good.
I mean, he was definitely a fun part of the first book, like the comedic relief, but still being like cool at the same time. But all right, so I do have a hard stop. So, but we will do one more of these, and we'll have more about Quicksilver, and maybe we'll talk about Quicksilver in the rest of the book. Maybe we'll just talk about Quicksilver and Brimstone in general, and not put any bounds on it that we can't go back on.
I like it.
All right. Y'all have a good rest of your day and weekend. See y'all next week.
See ya.